In the year 65, Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in the Roman Empire, was ordered to kill himself by his former student, the Emperor Nero. He had advised emperors. He had owned vineyards, villas, and lent enormous sums of money at interest. He was, by some accounts, worth the equivalent of $300 million in today's money. A century later, another Stoic ruled the same empire. Marcus Aurelius wore plain wool, slept on a hard bed when he traveled, and gave away his wife's jewels to fund a war he refused to raise taxes for. Two Stoics, same philosophy, wildly different relationships with money. And in the gap between them is the most useful financial lesson the ancient world ever recorded. There's a question philosophers have argued about for 2,000 years. How can a Stoic, someone whose whole school is built on indifference to wealth, on the idea that virtue is the only good, be one of the richest men in Rome? This is the so-called Seneca paradox. His critics in his own lifetime asked it openly. Aurelius, a senator, accused Seneca to his face. How is it that the philosophy that teaches you to despise riches has produced, in 4 years near the throne, a fortune of 300 million sesterces? Seneca's answer is the foundation of everything I'm going to say in this video. He didn't deny owning the wealth. He didn't pretend to be poor. What he said, and what the Stoics consistently said, was this: wealth itself is not the issue. Your relationship to it is. Money, the Stoics taught, is what they called a preferred indifferent. Not good, not bad. Useful. To be held lightly. To be lost without panic. To be earned without lying to yourself about why. This is where almost every modern reading of Stoicism gets it wrong. Stoicism is not anti-wealth. It is anti-attachment. The two are not the same thing, and confusing them has cost a lot of people a lot of money and a lot of peace. Let's stay with Seneca for a minute, because the man is more interesting than his reputation. He wrote in letters to Lucilius that the wise man does not love his wealth, but he holds it. He said the difference between a Stoic with money and a fool with money is that if you took it all away tomorrow, the Stoic would walk out of his palace in the same mood he walked in. That's the test. That's the whole test. And there's evidence Seneca actually lived this. When he fell out of favor with Nero, he offered to give the entire estate back. "Take it," he told the emperor. "I never needed it to be who I am." Nero refused because returning the wealth would have looked like an admission that he had taken it unjustly. So Seneca kept it and went home to write. Now you can argue that he was rationalizing. You can argue, as Tacitus did, that he was just an old hypocrite. But here is what is undeniable in his letters. Seneca's discipline with money was not about how much he had. It was about 3 things. First, he could account for every coin. He knew what he owned and why. Second, he gave away large sums regularly, not as charity theatre, but as a practice in detaching from accumulation. Third, and this is the one most modern investors miss, he rehearsed loss. He literally rehearsed it. He would set aside days where he ate the simplest food, wore the roughest clothes, slept on the floor, and asked himself, "Is this the condition I feared?" And every time, he wrote, the answer was, "No, it isn't." That practice, the premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, is the single most useful financial discipline the Stoics ever invented. It is what allows you to make calm decisions when markets crash. It is what allows you to walk away from a bad deal. It is what allows you to negotiate from a position of, "I do not need this," which is the only position from which good negotiations are ever made. Now, the other man. Marcus Aurelius was born into a senatorial family, adopted into the imperial line, and ruled the Roman Empire for 19 years. He had access to more wealth than any individual on earth, and he refused most of it. When the empire was bleeding gold during the Marcomannic Wars, Marcus did something that almost no ruler in history has done. He held a public auction. He auctioned his wife's silk gowns. He auctioned imperial dinnerware. He auctioned jewels from the palace. He raised the money for the war himself from his own household because he refused to raise the taxes that would have crushed the people. Read that again. The richest man in the world sold his own things rather than reach into other people's pockets. In the Meditations, which he was writing at the same time as he was running this war, he kept reminding himself, "Do not be dyed by the color of the purple. Do not let the roll color the soul." The purple was the imperial robe. The metaphor was, don't let the wealth and the title soak into you until you can't tell where you end and the costume begins. Marcus had what Seneca had, a healthy, deliberate, disciplined relationship with money, but he expressed it differently. Where Seneca said, "I can hold it lightly," Marcus said, "I can give it away first." Both of them were right. And that's what most people miss. So what's the lesson? Stop arguing about which one was the better Stoic. Look at what they shared. 1. Wealth is a tool, not an identity. Both men used money. Neither was used by it. The minute money becomes how you describe yourself, you have lost. Seneca was a writer who happened to be wealthy. Marcus was an emperor who happened to be wealthy. Neither was a wealthy man. Watch this distinction in your own life. The day you start introducing yourself by your portfolio is the day the portfolio owns you. 2. Capacity to lose is the only real wealth. Both men passed the test of imagined loss before they ever faced the real one. Seneca, by deliberately living poor for days at a time. Marcus, by giving things away while he still had them. If you cannot mentally survive losing it, you don't really have it. You're renting it from your own anxiety. 3. Money should expand your sphere of action, not your sphere of fear. Money used well buys you time, optionality, and the ability to walk away from work that compromises you. Money used badly buys you a larger cage, a fancier mortgage, and a deeper need to keep the income coming. The Stoic question to ask of every dollar is, does this enlarge me, or does this lengthen the chain? 4. Account for it. Honestly. Seneca knew where every cestus came from. Marcus tracked the imperial books. The Stoics had no patience for vague money. Either you know what you own, what it's doing, and what it costs you, or it owns you. Most people who feel anxious about money are just people who haven't sat down and looked at it directly. Look at it. Write it down. Stop pretending you don't know. 5. Generosity is a discipline, not a feeling. Both men gave systematically, not when they felt like it, not when it was emotionally convenient, as a practice, because they understood something modern psychology has only recently confirmed. The act of giving wealth away is one of the fastest ways to break wealth's grip on you. Seneca rehearsed loss by living poor. Marcus rehearsed loss by giving things up. Both were the same exercise. Here is the practical version. This week, not next month, not someday, do 4 things. First, sit down with a piece of paper, not a screen, and write down everything you own and everything you owe. No category for miscellaneous. If you don't know what something is, find out. The Stoic relationship with money begins with refusing to look away from it. Second, pick one expense, just one. that you've been telling yourself is necessary, and live without it for 30 days. Not as deprivation, as a test. Watch what happens to you. Watch how much of the necessity was actually anxiety wearing a costume. Third, give something of real financial weight away, not pocket change. An amount you'll feel. Pick a person, a cause, a young person whose education you can fund the corner of. The point is not the recipient. The point is the loosening of the grip. Fourth, read Seneca's Letter 2 and Marcus's Meditations, Book 5. Read them slowly, not to extract a quote for Instagram, to let the discipline soak in. That's the line, and that's the line under everything we just talked about. The Stoics did not teach indifference to money. They taught indifference to money's power over you. And the difference, in your portfolio, in your sleep, in the way you walk into a room, is everything. Seneca was rich. Marcus Aurelius wasn't. They got the same answer from opposite directions because they were asking the same question. How do I stay myself around money? If you got something from this, subscribe. We're building something serious here. Disciplined wealth is for people who want to think about money the way the Stoics did. Clearly, honestly, and without flinching. I'll see you in the next one.